My mission to play 581 different golf courses, all in honour of Mum.
No, I suppose everybody says their wife's a one-off, but she was. We got told that she'd got stage 4 cancer a month between the diagnosis and her death.
Sorry, guys. If Mum was still around, I would never be doing something like this. I'm doing it for Mum, 100%.
Come on!
I'm embarking on something quite crazy for this year ahead, which is to try and break the world record for the most 18-hole golf courses played in a single year.
Somebody mentioned it. You know the world record is 449? I was like, well, no.
You're going to meet someone new every day.
My man playing golf? Really?
Hear their stories. It's going to be people from all different walks of life. I'm super excited to get out there and to experience that.
You could be a superhero.
Every kid dreams of putting their name in the history books. That's what's driving me forward. My mission to play 581 different golf courses, all in honour of Mum. This is my journey.
Yep, rolling. He's all over it, look at that.
Yeah, it's the best part of the day.
The best part of the day.
Go for it. This is it. 365 days in the camper van. Never stayed in a motorhome before, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to become Ginger Golf for the year, so let's go have a look. On the surface, I might come across as a normal 27-year-old from Norfolk, England. However, look beyond, and I might just surprise you. So I've got to squeeze in a hell of a lot of golf stuff this year into a small area. We've got my hats and my gloves for the year. We've got the Guinness World Record criteria forms that need going. We've got the microwave, which I'm going to commandeer and put all the scorecards and all the forms in. Compression legs, they're going to be useful for trying to aid recovery. Right, on to the more important stuff, the golf clubs. Had everything I ever needed growing up. I have a fond memory that Dad bought me a brand new set of clubs that I think I had around one round with, and they went back in the garage for a very long time.
He was like any other kid, you know. He was happy enough at school, and liked his sports, liked his football. Weren't very good at it, but he liked his football.
There was a lot of football, it was tennis, it was swimming, it was cricket, it was scouts. You know, there were so many things, I think, at that age that you just pick up, and I think, you know, sooner or later they have to fall away. I think I started becoming addicted to golf around probably 16. I used to have a day off from college on a Wednesday, and I'd always be up at the golf club playing. Got absolutely infatuated by the whole thing, and, you know, sooner rather than later, I figured that playing different golf courses was brilliant.
The golf part of it became more of an obsession than a hobby. They're kind of English clubs, from what I can remember, what I can read, that we'd either played or he'd played, or both of us had played. But yeah, Josh is absolutely, every time he goes to a golf club, has to get a ball. And it usually means you have to buy 3 because you can't usually buy 1, so you end up getting ripped off. In my younger years, I did some parachuting when I was a bit young and mad. And a friend of mine that I used to parachute with got engaged to a girl who worked at the bank. And at their engagement party is when I met Sally. They worked together at the bank.
Sally was very generous, very open-hearted. She would always do everything for everyone else, maybe sometimes even at the neglect of herself. But yeah, she was very, very open-hearted, very, very keen to, you know, make sure that everyone else was okay and happily doing what they were doing.
I mean, I still struggle to understand how she balanced a full-time job alongside working, still doing fundraising efforts. It's just amazing, really, the amount of work that she did.
She was very devoted. I think she cared a lot about Josh, and always trying to support him in anything that he wants to do, and these various little things as he was growing up.
The amount of time she had for everyone, the amount of generosity, someone who has such a busy life and still finds the time to volunteer and to give back, that I probably didn't appreciate it anywhere as near and as much as I do now.
She was, no, I suppose everybody says their wife's a one-off, but she was.
So we were in Portugal in April. Everything was completely normal. We were over in the Algarve, which is where we go every year.
There were no real symptoms of what she had, other than some lesions that came up on her skin. But when she came back, she went to see the doctor, who immediately sent her for a scan. And we hadn't heard anything back for a month. So we kind of thought that, well, nothing to worry about then, which is what kind of happens.
She'd kind of started taking some time off work. I seem to remember her having a lot of sleepless nights.
Then we got told that she'd got stage 4 cancer.
Dad had told me, and it's kind of, I suppose, a highlight of the relationship that I had with Dad. I remember him telling me, and I just kind of walked upstairs and just absolutely broke down. And then we got into the hospital, went and saw Mum straight away, and it was just me. And she apologized. She said sorry that she had cancer, and that really hit hard with me. And I think that was a testament to the kind of person that she was. She was apologizing because she was unwell, which is ultimately nothing that she had any control over. It was tough towards the end because Mum was very tired. I think the cancer had spread so far over her body that it just got everywhere. To the point I remember that we had probably only chocolate buttons that we could feed, because she just couldn't open her mouth any further than that. And that was, really sad seeing her in a way like that. That was a really tough moment. Priority number one at that point was spending time with Mum and making sure that, we were spend as much time as we were and make sure that she was as comfortable as possible.
Needless to say, it was a month between the diagnosis and her death. Life's never the same after an event like that. We don't talk about it much because, it's one of them things that you kind of just have to try and put the back of your mind, because if you don't, it'll destroy you.
The biggest takeaway and the biggest realization I've had from this is that it isn't until something happens to you, and I suppose that is the cliche that everyone says, but until you actually go through that process, until it hits home, there's just no way that you can relate to that.
It's always there in your mind.
A massive part of who I am today is from the two amazing parents that I had, and and I'm very thankful that they raised me the way that they did. So these are the sticks for the year, the most important part. I've got custom fit for a lot of these, so it's going to be helping me kind of get through this year as best as I possibly can with all the tired swings. And we've got a custom little ball marker that's been made for me, which is kind of a little reminder of every hole that I play when I'm marking the ball, that I can look back and remember why I'm doing it.
So when I was a kid, I didn't play golf like, growing up like everybody else did. I hunted for golf balls. And I would go down to the creeks and walk in the creeks and get golf balls. And then I'd sell those golf balls at our garage sale. A while after I'd done that, I actually started hitting those golf balls. It took me over, and it's been a passion ever since. In 2018, I quit my job and I pursued a journey across the country just to see the golf courses that I hadn't seen before. And I played about 400 courses that year. Somebody mentioned that towards the end that, you know, the world record is 449. I was like, well, no. Man, I almost set a world record just doing what I wanted to do. If I really tried to do this, I could smoke this record. And that's what we've done. Officially, the record has been smoked. We're almost over 100 over the previous mark, which is a pretty good trouncing for a world record. Every round that I play at this point in time is a world record, which is awesome. Nobody has ever played 450 different golf courses in a year. I'm the only person that's ever done that in golf. You know, Tiger Woods hasn't done this. Yeah! Here it is. It's a new world record. If somebody ever tries to break the record, I'd obviously love to watch. I want them to be like, damn. I want them to struggle a bit. I don't want them to be like, oh, I'm going to crush this record. 449 for me was easy to break, but I don't want somebody to break it and be like, oh, that's easy.
580 golf courses he played in 2023. The quest for 581 is the tagline is obviously to try and do it officially, but also to try and do something that's no one's ever done before. The criteria is that it needs to play over 6,000 yards and it has to be 18 different holes. So 9-hole courses don't count. I need to have someone verify from the club as well as someone who I play with who can verify that I hole out and make sure that I play every hole properly. Not being able to kind of pick a ball up as maybe I would usually. I think priority number one is obviously breaking a world record. Priority number two is to raise as much money as we can for charity. Playing golf is going to be the easy part. I think the booking of it all, the logistics, the getting from A to B, the finding people is going to be easily the harder part. And I think playing golf is going to be just, get around, just hit a ball. Even if I don't play well, it doesn't matter because golf is kind of in a weird way secondary this year. You're going to meet someone new every day. You're going to hear their stories. It's going to be people from all different walks of life. And I'm super excited to kind of get out there and to experience that.
I've always been old school a little bit. I know my wife used to mollycoddle him a little bit, and I used to have a little bit of a problem with that. She would do things for him that I wouldn't even dream of doing.
For a great period of your life, your mum and your dad are the only two people you know. You pick up a lot subconsciously and consciously from them. Relationship with the father, I think, is probably not a traditional one, I suppose. I think sometimes it can be challenging. So I started off as an estate agent. I spent a bit of time working in a factory. I started working time for an insurance company on the phones. And then, I think the opportunity came up where Dad wanted to think about slowing down. He'd built that business from the ground up.
The lawn care business, so we looked after people's lawns, treating them, scarifying, aeration, treatments, weed controls, that sort of thing.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and it was a great opportunity to kind of look at going into it with a view of taking over.
So I tried to instill in him a work ethic that I don't think the younger generation really necessarily has in the way that we did. He said, I want to talk to you and I want to tell you some things and you're not going to be happy. So he was right there, That was a bit of a shock. It all came out and I wasn't really able to process it.
Given the fact that I'd already taken over the business, I think it is probably important to mention that everything was kind of smooth sailing in that front and I was doing pretty good at it. But I just realized that it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and I didn't want to live in Norfolk for the rest of my life. It's a fantastic place and Everyone down south says they want to move up there, but I think when you've lived there your whole life, you just want something a little bit more action-packed.
He was just basically telling me he was going to walk away from it and not do it anymore, and sort of kind of thinks, well, what happens now? What do we do now? How do we go over this?
You've given your son a business which is going to set him up for life. I think he really struggled, and it's so quick after everything that happened with Mum. That was part of it, and I think he'd probably realised that the idea was probably quite stupid.
Sometimes it takes a tragedy like he's had to sort of give you almost the green light to do it. Otherwise, I think you can be very much sort of, well, I don't really want to, rock the boat too much, or it's a big gamble to do it. But I think, it just brings things into a bit more focus. It's just great that he's found something that he really wants to do, and he's just seeing it through.
What starts off as being a bit of a negative thought, you then have to start thinking, well, maybe we've got to support this.
It's so tough. I think the biggest two factors that play into this that I just can't plan for is mentally and physically. I don't know how I'm going to be out on the road by myself in the evenings.
It's a stamina thing, isn't it? It's the mindset that nothing's going to stand in his way.
Incredible amount of prep. I mean, that the first step in terms of seeing if it was logistically possible and financially possible was emailing the kind of top 100 courses in England. I wanted to see if they'd be receptive to the idea, because I worked out quite quickly that if I needed to pay 600 green fees for the year, it wouldn't be affordable. Pretty much saying, look, I'm going to have to rely on my own finances to make this a possibility, and hoping that clubs would be receptive to the idea. If Mum was still around, I would never be doing something like this. I'm doing it for Mum, 100%. She would have really appreciated the message and the reason that I'm doing it, and that would have made her quite emotional, I think. The one positive that I drew from that is that, whatever happens in life, I'll keep cracking on. And I think that's going to be an important strength to have during the duration of the challenge. All of my eggs are now in this basket, and I've got to make it work. This is the first time we're doing life, so why don't we do something cool with it? As soon as I announced the video to the people on social media, the reception was very, very good, and everybody wanted to get involved, whether that was offering a bed up for the night, or whether that was doing the washing for me, or a meal cooked, or even playing around a golf with me on the golf course.
I'm not particularly technical. Yeah, these charities are brilliant, but they take a lot of money to keep going. They're not cheap to run, are they? So whatever they get will be worth it. It'll be worth having, for sure.
Come on! This is the last round before getting out onto the proper challenge where it all matters. So Freddie, yeah, I've known him for donkey's years now. We met through the kind of junior golf circuit, and we've just stayed in touch, having that kind of little bit of advice before I get going on the journey, a bit of a farewell of sorts.
He's a networker. I've known Josh some time now, and he's very good at, messaging the right people, and he's a nice guy, obviously, so I think that goes a long way in terms of the golfing community.
He realises that, a few decent words can go a long way.
So many good reasons that people have played golf, and so many kind of positive outcomes that have come from a mental health point of view. And obviously everybody knows that men don't talk enough about it. There's so much there, and it all revolves around you just hitting this little ball around a field. Well,
So, Josh, the journey begins. I think you're crazy, but I have to support you and give you as much encouragement as I can.
I think us as a family are all, immensely proud of everything that you're doing on this challenge. And I know that your mum would absolutely be so proud of you. It's all for such a great cause, and it's really great that you're doing this challenge, both I think from a personal perspective and raising such money for such great charities as you are.
Really, really hope that everything goes as you planned. I'm sure it won't, but to try and plan anything that far ahead is fraught with danger. So keep your chin up, mate. I know you'll bounce back from any adversities. You've got that in you to do that. So so Mum would have been really proud of you. Sorry, guys. Mate.
It's hard. It's Dad is someone who doesn't usually show emotion, so I think when he does, it's it's tough. It's I think it's been difficult, this kind of whole planning phase for him. It's been a struggle, not just because of me doing this, but it's probably so soon after losing Mum, and obviously a big shift in the family dynamic since then, and then all of a sudden your kind of son wants to just go off and play golf for a year, I guess, is the kind of unsympathetic way of looking at it. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've seen him cry over the years. There is a human, there is a heart under there, and obviously this shows it. I've been thinking about this whole kind of first tee shot for a very long time now, and it's been a big factor of thought. Please make contact with the club face. Just get it down the fairway.